Blazing Shinks here. So, all these videos are pre-recorded. Sorry, they're pre-recorded because I'm not gonna have much time tomorrow. And if I do end up having much time, I'll drop another part to this. What if Naruto and Zeraora were partners and he had a brother? But yeah, I'm not gonna have enough time tomorrow. But hopefully I do, so I can post the third part, I guess. But yeah, this is gonna be part 2 pretty much. Without further ado, let's get started. So, when Naruto and Hikaru return home, they tell Shikaku all about their day. And they told him that their sensei was Kakashi. Shikaku would have a little flashback of Kakashi because Minato was still the leader of that team with Kakashi, Obito, and Rin on it. So, and Shikaku was friends with Minato. They were friends, so he knows about Kakashi. So he has a little flashback about when Minato first introduced him to Kakashi. Naruto would then say, "Dad," as he flicks him on the top of his head. And Shikaku would, widen his eyes and shake his head. He's like, "Yeah, sorry, but you guys have fun tomorrow. And don't fail this test." Naruto would nod his head, and he and Hikaru would leave and go to the forest with Zeraora following close behind. And when Zeraora and Hikaru and Naruto had stopped somewhere in the middle of the forest, they began to train. They would train on their Kenjutsu, since both Naruto and Hikaru use swords. They would train on their taijutsu with Zeraora because Zeraora is very adept in taijutsu. And Naruto would train his lightning when Hikaru had left to go to his fire style training teacher. So, when Naruto's working on his lightning abilities, he would then say lightning palm as you weave the hand signs for lightning palm, and the lightning in his hand would rage around him, making a sphere around himself. And more lightning kept making the sphere bigger and bigger until it couldn't get bigger anymore. And it was probably around 7 feet up. So, and the radius was 2 feet up in front and behind Naruto. He then made the strands of lightning begin to thicken, and Naruto would yell, "Lightning style, lightning net," and the ball would then seemingly snap from behind him, and all of the lightning strand would shoot out at Zeraora. But Zeraora's claws would then grow and glow a bright white. And Zeraora would dash at Naruto and slash open the net. And both Naruto and Zeraora would begin to fight. Zeraora and Naruto kept disappearing. And every time they would be faster and faster, throwing a punch that Naruto would throw a punch that Zeraora would block. Zeraora would then throw a kick that Naruto would block. They kept repeating the cycle until when they dashed at each other, their fists met, and they kept colliding their attacks, a punch for a punch and a kick for a kick, every time, moving faster than before, until Naruto jumped back and yelled, "Wind style, wind bullet." Zeraora's palms then started lighting up a bright blue, and he slammed his arms onto the ground, and lightning came from out of the ground, breaking the ground as it went closer to Naruto. It completely cut the wind bullets in half, dispersing it. And the lightning still went for Naruto. Naruto kept trying to move out of the way of the lightning, but it kept following him. He would then yell, "Lightning style, lightning net." He would then shoot out a large lightning net, but not as large as the first one, since the first one was built up from lightning palm. But this net did the trick, and it stopped the lightning from going any farther. But when Naruto landed on the ground, Zeraora was already there, delivering a powerful kick to the side of Naruto. Naruto would hit a tree. Zeraora wouldn't let up. He would instantly start running after Naruto, and he would try to punch him. But Naruto would dodge out of the way and then drop kick Zeraora away. Zeraora would then turn around after regaining his balance and begin to clash with Naruto once more. And as they're clashing, they become more in sync, to the point where Naruto's eyes become a light blue and electricity bursts around him. And he grows like his nails become longer. He pretty much looks like more of a humanoid version of Zeraora. Like his hair went like in the shape of Zeraora's hair, and he had ears and a tail. And like from his eyes, he just has a bunch of lightning. And then Zeraora looks like... So basically, I'm just put it to you like this. Naruto turned into a version of Zeraora, the one on the left. And Zeraora went from the one on the right to the one on the right. And neither of them noticed, and they kept fighting, increasing their blows. And when Naruto jumped back, he cupped his hands together, and first he infused wind chakra, and on top of this wind chakra became lightning. This dark blue lightning would circle around the wind sphere, and Naruto would just roar as he launched the attack, which is going to be called Hurricane. When he launched the attack, it started to spin as if it was a tornado, but it became more rapid, cutting trees because of the lightning and swirling around massive rocks straight at Zeraora. Zeraora would then build up electricity in his hands, and he would run towards this twister. He would then spin rapidly, making a lightning ring around him as he clashed with the hurricane. There was then a big explosion. The explosion went on for at least 20 feet on all sides. And Naruto and Zeraora passed out, and Naruto reverted to his normal self. When Naruto and Zeraora were woken up, Hikaru and Shikaku were there, and it was raining. Hikaru would say, "You guys can't keep counting yourself out like this. You were gonna sleep through the rain. You were probably gonna catch a cold too, Naruto." That was very idiotic. Naruto would scratch his head and apologize as they walked home. And Naruto didn't remember what happened, but Zeraora did. And Zeraora was confused. And when Naruto had got home, he just laid down in his bed, wondering why he couldn't remember anything that happened during the fight or the training. So when Naruto woke up, he would then get dressed and go outside, which Hikaru was already waiting for him, and Zeraora too. He hopped on Zeraora's back too, as Zeraora. Well, let me give you Zeraora's height is 6'3". No, I'm joking. He's not that small. He's around I'm gonna say he's 6'8". And Naruto is only 5'4". And Hikaru is at the height of 5'5". So he's just a little bit taller than Naruto. So Naruto would hop on freaking Zeraora's back. And Zeraora would start running on all fours, hopping in between buildings while Hikaru was trying to keep up, but he couldn't. Hikaru would then yell out to Naruto, "Hey, that's no fair. You're using Zeraora." He's like, "It wouldn't matter anyway. I'm still much faster than you." And Hikaru was like, "Oh yeah? Well, why don't you get down here?" And Naruto's like, "Let me think about it." No. As Zeraora sped up, so Hikaru had to speed up too. He's like, "And plus, this will make you run faster, move faster. Build up your stamina." Hikaru was like, "I hate you." And after a couple of minutes, they finally made it to the training site where Sasuke was waiting by himself. Sasuke would be like, "It took you guys long enough." And they'd say, "Sorry, but we had things to do." He's like, "What things could you two losers have to do?" He's like, "Well, that's none of your business now, is it?" Sasuke would get angered by this. And a couple hours passed when finally Kakashi showed up. Everyone would be disappointed in Kakashi, and Kakashi would have that same grin on his face whenever he gets caught being late or something. And he would give the same excuse, how he got lost on the path of life or something like that. But so after that, it's my dad and my sister.
Busy, watch out. It's a big muscle in the way.
Sorry, I had to go do something and I forgot to, pause the recording. But anyway, so Kakashi would show the bells and he would say, "You three have to get these bells before the sun starts." Yeah. Kakashi would say, "You have to retrieve these bells from me before sundown. And if you don't, you're all going back to the academy." Oh, sorry. So, he's like, "When I say go, you guys have to come and get these bells." Naruto would get ready in his fighting position, and so would Zeraora. And Kakashi, before Kakashi would say go, he would say, "Wait, what's that? What's that thing?" Naruto would say, "Oh, this is Zeraora. It's kind of a clan thing, according to my father." And he would have a flashback of Minato, but he would shake his head. He was like, "Well, anyway, go." Naruto, Zeraora, and Hikaru all disappeared, and Sasuke would then jump into the trees. Naruto, Hikaru, and Zeraora would revise a plan together, and this was their plan. They waited for Sasuke to attack, which he did. Sasuke would run at Kakashi, and they would have the same interaction as before. But this time, at the end of the battle, Kakashi swings Sasuke around by his leg and throws him in the air. Naruto would then blitz Kakashi and start throwing a bunch of rapid attacks, just trying to get him off balance. Where Zeraora would jump in the air, grab Sasuke, swing him back, and launch him back at Kakashi, which Naruto would do a flip over Sasuke, and Sasuke, using this to his advantage, he would throw a punch at Kakashi, hitting him right in the gut. And then Hikaru would emerge from behind Kakashi and yell, Shadow Possession Jutsu, catching Kakashi. But then Kakashi turned into a wooden log. So they looked around for Kakashi, and Zeraora would turn around and jump at a tree, punching it, snapping it in two. And from the top part revealed was Kakashi. Kakashi was astounded by Zeraora's freaking skills at sensory skills, that's what they call. And he would then throw two kunai at Zeraora, which Naruto would dash in front of Zeraora, use his sword to block. And both Naruto and Zeraora would rush Kakashi, throwing punches and kicks, with some landing and some missing. Zeraora and Naruto would then jump back and perform the lightning palm jutsu, putting their hands together and running at Kakashi. Kakashi would then do the hand signs and yell Chidori as he chased down, as they ran at each other. Naruto and Zeraora's palms collided with Kakashi's Chidori, which made Kakashi fly far back, and his whole arm was paralyzed. He was confused on how their jutsu was able to overpower his Chidori, but he kept fighting anyway. He would then pull up his headband and activate his Sharingan. And as he did this, Hikaru came down with his sword, getting ready to basically cut the bells off of his cut the bells off of whatever they were hanging off of. I forgot what it was. But Kakashi moved out of the way and kneed Hikaru in the stomach and kicked him into a tree. Sasuke then came full of anger, seeing the Uchiha's clan eye, and he would yell, "What are you doing with the Sharingan?" And Kakashi would then just backhand Sasuke onto the ground, which Naruto and Zeraora would bum rush Kakashi. Naruto would throw a kick at Kakashi, which Kakashi blocked, and then elbowed him in the stomach and uppercutting him in the jaw, sending him flying back. And Zeraora and Kakashi would then get into a battle, punch for punch, kick for kick. Then Kakashi would kick Zeraora back, and Zeraora would see that Kakashi isn't someone to be messed with. Oh, my dog's crying for no reason at all. But so Zeraora would then start moving faster than he did before, building up lightning around him in the process. He's dashing around the training place, only leaving a trail of lightning behind. And as he does so, Kakashi tries to keep up, but his Sharingan can only do so much. And right when he was about to activate his two Tomoe, Zeraora appeared in front of him and punched him straight in his face, sending him flying far back. When Kakashi ended up regaining light stabilization, he stood up and he wove hand signs and said, "Water style, water dragon jutsu." The water from behind him went at Zeraora. And Zeraora would then Zeraora's claws would then glow a bright white and become longer. He would then dash at the dragon and start slicing at the dragon, cutting it into many pieces. And Kakashi, with his two Tomoe Sharingan, was then able to overpower Zeraora. But not for long, when Zeraora then started keeping up with Kakashi once more. They were going blow for blow. None of their blows were being blocked or missed. They just kept taking each other's hits. Until Zeraora he stepped back and then dashed at Kakashi and Kakashi dodged this attack easily and kicked Zeraora away. But to his surprise, Zeraora had swapped places with Naruto at extreme speeds, to the point where since he was so busy fighting Zeraora, he didn't even notice. Naruto would then reveal himself as he rolled over to a tree, knocked out, and in a flash, the bells were gone. See, the whole time, Naruto was pretending to be Zeraora, and he had Hikaru, like, constantly, like, sending him chakra through a little technique he learned. See, Hikaru won't just use his shadow possession jutsu just to possess people. He can use it to give them chakra. So he would, like, sneakily, send the shadow over to Naruto and then give him energy so he could keep up with Kakashi. And Zeraora would pretend to be Naruto and pretend to be knocked out until the right moment. Naruto and would be lifted up by Hikaru, and Sasuke would go over to Zeraora, and Sasuke would then say, "Not bad, losers." And Kakashi would say, "That was smart. And which one of you came up with this?" Hikaru would raise his hand. "I did." He's like, "Well, that was good." But then he, like, lifted both his hands up and just, like, hit both Hikaru and Naruto on the top of their heads. Naruto would yell, "What was that for?" Kakashi would say, "You didn't include Sasuke into your plan. I know this because there was no way you guys could have known that I was going to throw him in the air. So either way, I shouldn't fail you guys, but you did manage to get the bells, so I'll let it slide." And that's where I'm going to end this off. Yeah, like, subscribe. Other than that, Blazing Sphinx out.